Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We've got stuff to do. Embers to deliver. We did find last time the large ember, which doesn't have a whole lot of lore. Except that the smiths of Astora like a good old-fashioned smithing. Trusted and true. That's it. The piece of information about Astora is basically just saying us, dude, you know a smith of Astora who can handle this shit. So we have to deliver it now to our good old grandpa Andre. You die. Nobody loves you. You too. Nobody loves you. And you. You're all unloved. No. So, before I do anything else, I want to talk about the channel. Because the catacombs have really grabbed my ass the wrong way. Really wrong way. So I have to rethink at least this operation here. As I said in my introduction, I want to improve my speaking generally. English, German. I want to speak more fluently, more freely, and more diverse. I can write somewhat diverse. Somewhat. And yes, I like stories. So I will have to make a step back from the lore as a whole and concentrate more on the stories in this game. I will still complain about stuff in this game. I will still talk about the lore, because every story needs lore. It makes the world go round. Even if you write a story in our day and age, in our world, you still have the lore. Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, the Jews, Judaism, Shintoism, you have it. It's there. It speaks in architecture, in the way people behave and speak. So it is inevitable that you use it. If you write fantasy, and this here is fantasy, you derive your lore for your writing, for your story, from something else. Be it ancient Greeks, the Romans, or whatnot. The Native Americans. You name it. And yes, I want to tell stories. It's my whole drive behind this channel. I want to tell stories. And if it helps me to improve, then I will. I will tell stories. That's why I started Dead Space. It's a story. Role games need to have a good story. They need a good story. Or they're not good horror games. Everybody can scare you. But to leave you horrified, give you nightmares, that only can do a good story. And now, you.
Why, that's a fine ember you have there. I could smith some mighty weapons with one of those. Why not lend it to me?
Yes, have it.
Magnificent! You won't be disappointed.
Look how happy he is.
I can hardly wait to get started.
Repair, because why not? Oops, I'm here so I can repair. Come on. Can I modify? No, because I don't have large titanite. I have green titanite. Yay.
Go get
Yes,
yourself.
yes. Now, Andre's story is not much. As I said before. He would be the old, somewhat grumpy, but still immensely lovable grandpa that tells the stories. True, they would be about smithing, which can be interesting in its own right, but stories nonetheless. Now, it's time to go to some more interesting characters. Please. I didn't go here directly after Capra. I may have missed 3 characters. Which would be a shame. But oh well. I have failed so much in this in the episode so far, so yes,
You
I
again?
missed them.
Me? I've become separated from my lady. I've scoured near and far, but no sight of her. Where could she have gone? My lady, to think I swore to protect you with my life.
Yes. So, if I had come here directly after Capra, I could have spoken to his lady, Rhea of Thoroland, and her 2 companions. They wouldn't have said much except, "Oh, we are on a mission, we can't speak now. Are you so uncouth to not realize that we are on a mission?" Then, the 4 of them would go down to the catacombs and later on to the Tomb of the Giants. Because they are looking for the Rite of Kindling. Now, only he returned. And he is so fearful for my lady that he cannot go back and find her. Now, anything to add here?
Your Highness, where have you gone? I am entirely to blame for this. Oh, woe is me. I am unworthy, deathly so.
He certainly does put up a good act, don't you think?
Oh, I'm sorry. Miracles, was it?
Yes.
Sometimes I lose myself. Pay me no mind.
Oh, I will pay you all my mind. Oh boy. I can't kill you right now. So. He's unworthy. deathly so. So he assumes that Rhea and her two companions are dead. At least that's what he wants us to believe. Now... Really? Seriously? This is going to be annoying. Before I want to talk to Griggs and Laurentius, I want to talk to Lordrak. Okay. Then I will talk to somebody else. So, anything
How
here?
did that nutty sorcerer make it back? Unexpected. But I suppose stranger things have happened.
Wow.
How did that old man
Orange
make
is
it
not
back?
that old.
Unexpected. But I suppose stranger things have happened.
Yes, me flying back to the Haunted Asylum, for example. Now, let's talk to our buddy Laurentius.
Well, I see you made it out.
Yes.
Yeah, I made it out safely too.
Isn't
I
it
have
awesome?
My pyromancy of the Great Swamp, so I can usually manage with a bit of care. Oh yeah, by the way, I can share my spells with you. I think you have a knack for it. All you need are the materials. I'll be pleased to help you. Unless you find the magic's unsavory.
No. All the yummy magics.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm sure that they'll be of some use, some assistance. Here, first take this.
Yum 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 yum.
A flame from the Great Swamp. Now you're a fully fledged pyromancer.
Yes.
Well, let's get started right now.
So what do you have? Fire orb, combustion, iron flesh, flesh sweat, and a fireball. But I want to talk to you.
Pyromancy is the art of casting fire. Produce flame, then channel it, just as our ancestors did. A pyromancer must be in tune with nature herself. My home, the Great Swamp, is an abundant store of nature. You will understand one day. It only takes time.
Something more?
Pyromancy has a, well, rather primitive aspect to it. It meshes poorly with advanced culture, and pyromancers are considered rather unsavory, which is fine,
Really?
as I never got along with anybody anyway. So, for me, turning undead didn't change a thing.
Really?
A pyromancer's flame is a part of his own body. The flame develops right along with his skill. When I gave you that flame, I gave you a part of myself. Please take good care of it. A pyromancer's flame is a flame. What? Please.
So, first, let's pump this shit. I do have souls, so let's blast through the roof. As much as I can.
Goodbye then. Come back if you find anything new.
I will. Now... his story begins to unfold. And the story of pyromancy. Pyromancy is the art of casting fire. You produce it and channel it. This art of pyromancy is manifested in fireball, fire orb, basically every offensive fire spell. Everything that damages your opponent. Firestorm, Fire Tempest, Chaos Firestorm, Great Chaos Fireball, so on and so forth. And pyromancy, and the pyromancer needs to be in tune with nature. With the grass, with water, with his tree, with life. Apparently the greatest pyromancers he know came from his own homeland, the Great Swamp. An abundant, where life is everywhere. And I will mention Onuma. That in Japanese, he's a shaman of Onuma, Onuma. It's Onuma. And if you have seen pictures of it, then yes, you can see that, yeah, life. Certainly. Now, pyromancy wasn't always pyromancy. Pyromancy became what it is through an incident. Before that, it was fire sorcery, and was held by the Witch of Izalith, the Lord of Life. Now, he also has iron flesh and flesh sweat. These pyromancies have nothing to do with fire directly. And I think iron flesh, nothing at all. Flesh sweat, okay. It reduces fire damage because you are sweating like an idiot. Assumably by raising your own temperature. Iron flesh manipulates your life. You become a walking hunk of metal. A slow-moving one, but yes. Lots of armor, lots of boys. It manipulates life. You can argue that flesh sweat does the same. Because you manipulate your own life. So you can sweat this amounts and you don't die by heat stroke. Now, let's talk to you.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I regret meeting you under such compromising circumstances. At least we both made it back unscathed. Incidentally, would you care to learn any sorceries? You're clearly talented, and besides, I owe you. Of course, we will require some materials, but I'm happy to teach you some elementary spells. Are you interested?
Yes.
Splendid. Very well. I am pleased to have a chance to give something back. Well then, let's get started straight away.
So, now we learn a little bit about sorcery.
Have you heard of Big Hat Logan?
No.
Master Logan is a great sorcerer and my teacher. Both of us came to this land as undead. But one day he departed, leaving only a note. I suppose he wished to keep me out of harm's way. But where does that leave me? I have dedicated myself to sorcery. But Master Logan could find no use for me.
Maybe because you're an idiot.
Yes. The note that Master Logan left. It only said he would travel to Anolondo by way of Sen's fortress. I can only guess that he seeks the regal archives. For Master Logan is a tireless pursuer of wisdom. Wisdom trumps all. Everything else is hogwash. When the curse turned him undead, I'm certain that he only felt it was the perfect chance to visit this land. I only wish that I had his courage. 2 things are required for sorcery. First, you must equip a wand. Second, you must attune a sorcery. Then you will be ready to fire away. Oh, and don't forget to aim.
And that is the gist of Windheim sorcery. I will get full control. Anything else? Oral decoy, yes. Well, damage, 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 damage. Buff, buff. Basically, damage, damage reduction. amazing. To quote Plague. Now, sorcery which improves upon heavy soul arrow, blah 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 blah. At the Windheim Dragon School, the acquisition of this spell marks an apprentice's coronation as a sorcerer. Wow. He can now do more damage with his sorcery gun.
All right. That'll do it. That should help you on your journey. May we meet again.
Certainly. Now, I got some more interesting spells now. First, Oral Decoy. Sorcery used by playful sorcerers. Lure enemies away by creating a sound originating in the distance. This spell is not the first choice for serious sorcerers, but it has a surprising amount of applications, some of them extremely effective. So, for the crafty sorcerer, it's the thing, and it is sound. Fall control. Sorcery developed by a certain surreptitious sorcerer at Windheim Dragon School. Reduced damage and noise from fall. This sorcery, along with Hush, explains the extravagant cost of hiring Windheim's spooks. So, Fall Control is the first mention of spooks, and he sells it. Also, and he's clad in black. The dress code for Windheim spooks. Am I right? Agrex? Now he probably has Hush too, or at least a slumbering Dragon Quest ring. Now, two things. First, he made a surreptitious sorcerer that developed Hush and Fall Control. Thing number two, he just could have copied it, like any other sorcerer in Windheim does. Hey, look, this spell is there for ages. Let's learn it until we can speak it in our sleep. That's their intelligence. They learn the knowledge, but they don't really do much with it. They don't understand it correctly. You could all kinds of things with a soul arrow, for example. But no, they only do the damage stuff. Same thing with the heavy variants and great variants, and soul spear, so on and so forth. Then there are the buffs for the battle mages. Okay. Fine. Still damage. Then we come to Oral Decoy, Hush and Fall Control. Oral Decoy is probably used by young apprentices, because it is a way to give them a rather harmless spell and still teaching them how to use, quote unquote, use sorcery. And Hush and Fall Control are also more interesting, because they have some utility. It's not just, here, have damage, do stuff. It's situational. It's not just, Venom is stupid. They have knowledge, but they do nothing with it. They have the knowledge in their brains, stored there. That is intelligence. But there's only one sorcerer, apparently, that wants to do a little bit of stuff, that creates. That's one sorcerer who seeks wisdom, experience, and insight to use it correctly, to use it differently. And Griggs is looking for him. Doesn't show us the note, it only tells us about it. So he may be Logan's pupil, he may not. But Logan too is an idiot. Once he gets to the archives and is freed there, he does nothing but research Seath and the crystals and the damage. What did the dragons do with crystals? So on and so forth. Granted, he's wiser than all the other sorcerers, except maybe Miss Dusk. But, and yeah, we will drive him insane. But first, wake up, impossibility. Enough talk about sorcery, Logan and Griggs. Let's talk about this. This thing is an undead dragon. An undead dragon. Now, dragons supposedly don't have souls. And therefore cannot go hollow, because they already are. Second, only humans can turn undead, because of humanity and the dark soul. Why is he called undead? Because he looks like he's rotting away. He's basically a zombie dragon. Not maggot-ridden. It's still rot, but he also looks dried out. Would be nice if you could hear it. The bones crackling, the muscles stretching, and maybe breaking. Yes, it would be something, let's say, disgusting to hear. But it would at least complement his appearance. Now, when does looks something which is not undead, rotten and dried up? Only if it is aged. Now, dragons are supposed to be immortal, free of the shackles of time. Except for Seath, because he doesn't have scales. He probably had scales. And I say had, because You can see his muscles. You can see his tissue. The only explanation that would give this design credit would be that he lost all of his scales of immortality in the War of the Ancients, that he's wounded. So on and so forth. And now he is here, hanging on this cliff, killing everybody who comes too close to him and picks up one of those. Now, as I said, that is the only explanation that would make sense, because only humans can be undead. But everything that lives, or in this case can age, can rot away. And if he doesn't have his scales of immortality and is shackled by time, he can rot. He still is somewhat immortal because... let me stretch my imagination for this explanation. He's still somewhat immortal because he's a dragon. Therefore, he still cannot die of old age. But his fate would... The Sith would have shared his fate. And Sith is afraid of dying, or at least rotting away while he is still conscious. And yes, this guy is still conscious. And now he's dead. And we get a dragon. Okay, he had one scale left, apparently. Ah yes, I killed the Hydra. Dragon scale. A dragon is inseparable from its scales, and the transcendent apostles who seek the perpetuity of the ancient dragons have crossed the very end of the earth to seek this invaluable treasure. But we know that Gwyn literally blasted scales and tons of scales off of the ancient dragons with its lightning. Don't ask me how. He did. And he basically knew about this weakness because of Sith. And this dragon, this aged dragon, this rotting dragon, not undead dragon. And yes, I know it's a canon name. Still irks me, because it makes no sense in this game. But yes, this aged dragon, this rotting dragon, is one of the survivors and victims. But now I will go back to where I came, to where I started this episode. And we'll end it there. Not a lot of progress. question. Can I talk to our beloved friend? Yes! Perfect!
Ah, you certainly are keeping busy.
Yes.
Care to pay for a useful tip?
Of course. Okay. The cost of these tips level with you. Thanks.
A wise choice indeed. Maiden Thurland and her followers recently arrived in this land, but she became stranded deep below the catacombs. Her followers either fled or were reduced to hollows, leaving Maiden Thurland all alone. Not a bad tip, huh? A Nubar cleric would be replete with humanity.
Probably. Do we have more?
That tip I gave you? I heard it from a fleeing old man.
Oh.
That poor bastard. All his robes and trinkets won't help him now.
Okay, don't get the joke there, but okay. You have fun. You have fun. Let's confront Petrus. Come here, come here. Come hither, my friend, come hither.
Oh, hello there.
Oh.
Have you spoken with Sir Lautrec?
Yes.
Splendid. In the depths of the catacombs, Milady slipped off the giant's coffin and into a hole. Her two companions are no longer human, and the lass weeps in solitude. Right now, you could do as you please with her. The poor little purebred is entirely helpless. Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
You are a lousy actor. Don't drop your act just because you heard Lautrec laugh like a maniac. But yes. Now we have all the information we can get from those two. At least regarding Miss Thorland. She is in the Tomb of the Giants. With her two companions that are hollow now. And she's the only one that still remains human there. Except for Petrus, because Petrus. Everybody loves Petrus. FromSoft. Why do you do Petrus? Now. Technically we could go down there. Technically. I can't see anything. And the enemies are strong. As are those two hollows. But technically we could. I won't though. I won't. And Petrus told us something else. He's not too keen on our little friend. He said, poor little purebred. So she is royalty. And he hates royalty. Probably because they get everything shoved into their mouths. And he had to earn it. I can understand it, but shoving her or letting her slip in such a treacherous place just to quell some grudges he has. No, no, Petrus. I have to take care of you later. After I borked all of your miracles. And maybe your talisman. And with this promise, I say good night and sleep well. You too, Petrus. You too. Sleep well. Sleep well.